So you're telling me that my wall measures 130 degrees on my angle finder, but I need two 25-degree cuts to make it fit? Except on Tuesday? What? In this video, I'm going to try to unlock some of the mysteries behind these funny angles you might come across in some situations. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So not every inside and outside corner is as straightforward as cutting 245s to get a 90 and then you move on down to the next one. Every once in a while, you're going to come across a corner that's got some strange or funny angles in there, and it takes you several tries of trial and error just to find the right combination. All right, so here we have our imaginary wall right here that I built just for the video. We have our angle finder right here. I've already set it to the wall, okay? Now this angle finder shows your cut angles that you'll actually need on the saw, but I want you to understand why these numbers are what they are. That way you can have any combination of numbers you need and you'll still understand how to find the right angles. So we have a protractor right here, and when we put our angle finder on there and transfer it over to the protractor, we find that our angle of the wall is actually 130 degrees. Now let's figure out how that translates onto the saw, because you're actually going to want to take 130 and divide it by 2 to find your angle, so that's 65. All right, so now let's pretend this protractor is our miter saw table. We have 0 sticking out in front of us like this, right? Then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it's the same with the other direction too, right? Well, here's our 130, so that translates to 40, all right? Why is it 40? Because it's 40 degrees away from 0. Now, what we want is we want that 65, which is half of 130. So if we come here to 65, look where it falls. It falls on 25. It's the same thing over here. 65 falls on 25. So that's our miter saw setting for 130, because it's 130 divided by 2 gives you 65. 65 here comes out to 25. 65 here comes out to 25. If you're finding any value in this video, please subscribe to this channel. I come out with videos like this as often as I can. Alright, so keep in mind that our wall is an obtuse angle, so it's more than 90 degrees. I'm going to show you some acute angles here in a minute, and those are going to be just a little bit more tricky. So right here we have our saw pointer on 0, so that's 90 degrees, right? Remember, we're looking for 65. So here we have 10, so that's 80. 20, that's 70. So 25 is our 65, like I said, we're looking for. So let's go ahead and set our saw on 25. Lock it down. Now I'm going to cut both ends of the wood I've got right here so I can show you that this works on an inside corner as well, just exactly the same. So I'm going to turn on some vacuum so I can try to contain the mess. Anybody watch Spaceballs? Commence Operation Vacuum Suck! Well, we're going to do that right now. All right, so we're here on our hypothetical wall. Let's see if this fits. Like a glove? No problem. Looks pretty good right there, nice and tight. Now let's flip this around and let me show you that it works the same way for an inside angle. See that? All right, so now that you see how the angles on the protractor translates over to the miter saw, let me show you this angle finder and what these numbers mean on here. It's pretty cool. This way you don't have to carry around a protractor and do all these conversions. I was just showing you that so that you know. But here we have our miter cut. This is still set to our 130 degree wall. And right here you can see it goes right to 25. That's what we figured out, right? Here it shows a single cut as 40 degrees. So here's an example of a single cut right here. This is behind my wall that I made. I cut this block so that it would brace the wall and hold its angle. That's all that means. You're not mitering the joints together, okay? All right, so let's get on to our acute angles. Okay, so here we have another wall. Now this one is an acute angle, less than 90 degrees. I've already set up my angle finder to match the wall, and look what we have here. All right, now this is showing our miter cut is 65 degrees, and our single cut is still 40 degrees. All right, so let me show you what that means. So when we place the angle finder on the protractor, I've just decided to use the reference angle on this one. So instead of 130, we have this acute angle right here of 50 degrees. Okay, so now we have a 50-degree angle. We need to cut that in half. So half of 50 is 25. So look where 25 comes out. Remember before, it came out here on 40, right? But now 25 degrees comes out on 65. So that's where we need to be on the miter saw. Okay, so remember our 25 degrees we're looking for is at 65 on the table. Well, we only go up to 50 right here, so we're 15 degrees outside the range of the table. So what we need to do is make a jig. So what I normally do is take a 4x4 block, kind of line it up with the end right there, and I've already cut this at 45 degrees, so I'm not going to show that part. There's 45. So that's cut perfectly right there. All right, so you need to clamp the jig down so it doesn't move. Most of the saws have a clamp that comes up here that's made into the saw, and this one does too, but it's in a box somewhere, and the C-clamp will work fine. All right, so the way the saw is right now, I'm set up for an inside angle. To cut the outside angle, I got to move the jig to the other side, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the inside angle so you can see what I mean. Okay, so with the saw set on 0, we're already at 45, right? Well, we need 65, so we got to go 20 degrees more. Set it for 20, and then lock it down. All right, so obviously you need to take some safety precautions. I'm dealing with a short piece here, so finger placement is absolutely critical. Do not forget about finger placement. So yeah, I had to flip this around to the other side, like I said, and then I've actually flipped my piece over so that I can have my outside angle right there. Okay, so you might have to flip and flop this around a little bit to see which way you need to put it on the saw in order to cut your inside and outside angles. Perfect. Very nice, very nice. Our inside angles, I did the same thing, same measurement. Perfect, very good. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching.